I'm Racers Marshall Pruitt. This is Chip Ganassi Racing Championship winning crew chief Ricky Davis sealed this title with the number 10 crew here at Portland. This is your 5th?
Yes.
My goodness. We're going to do our final walk and talk of the season. We did one with Barry Wanzer at Gateway. Rick, we actually meant to do this at Portland. We had a little bit of a technical glitch. My fault, not his. He's the master mechanic. But wanted to celebrate you, this achievement, everything about this year's championship, Rick, as you as one of the central pieces to it. So before we get to that, I want folks to learn more about you, because we've loved you and looked up to you as a big inspiration in this paddock for a long time. But where did racing come into your world? Tell me about the Davis family and where you grew up.
Well, I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, and racing came into our life as unexpectedly on a family picnic on a Sunday at the top of South Mountain.
Wow.
We were sitting at a table, and my dad could hear these little engines running around, so he wanted to go check it out. We go down there, there's quarter midgets. The next thing I know, that next Wednesday, my brother was in a car doing test laps at Glendale Speedway.
Go Dad!
Yeah, and then there's 2 of them, right? And now we're racing. And the deal was we had to keep our grades up. We had to do the maintenance, which at 9 years old, I didn't know anything about it. But yeah, it's been in my blood ever since, and it's all I've ever wanted to do. But see, I was supposed to be a race car driver.
Supposed to.
Yeah, I don't know if the lack of sponsorship or the lack of talent didn't work out for us. But
look, we saw Joe Tonto come back and help Jimmy Bly win the 2000 kart title. I think Brad Pitt's doing a movie about the same kind of theme, so you still got time?
I do. I haven't retired. I just haven't found anything I want to drive yet.
I might be in that category as well. So this kind of jump-started you though, Rick. I mean, knowing that the driving part is the big attraction, but as you said, at 9 years old, you're having to figure out nuts and bolts and maintenance. Tell me about that side, because you didn't necessarily have to love that or stick with it.
What I did, and it's all I wanted to do, and same with my brother. And my brother gets out of high school, my dad buys an automotive radiator repair shop. My brother starts running that with the goal of being able to race. I joined after I graduated high school. He bought his first midget, which was a big pile of old stuff.
Yeah.
And we went from there. We ended up building our own midgets. We did our own engines. We built our own sprint car. We did our own engines. We did everything. We couldn't afford to do it, buy it. We had to either trade labor for it or figure out how to do it, and we did.
Where did IndyCar, where did American open wheel turns of road and street course and ovals, where did that start to come into your world?
Well, that came in, I was promised a ride. I was Rookie of the Year in '84. I was promised a ride with a guy. It's going to be big time stuff. So my dad tapered back with my stuff. This guy pulls out on me before the start of the season, so I'm racing once in a while. My dad passed away in '89 of leukemia. And I was still trying to race, but it wasn't the same. Well, I get a call from a guy I used to race with, Bill Martin, there in Phoenix, and he said, "Hey, I can get you a job up here at Granatelli's." I didn't think it was possible. I went there, I got the interview, and there it is, 33 years later, I'm still doing it.
Wow. Harry Lunatic was one of your drivers, AKA Ari Leindyke.
Yes.
There's a great photo of you, I guess, trying to match your driver with some wild old hair as well, Rick.
I was actually his stunt double. Whenever he wanted to leave the track without being noticed, I would stand at the back of the trailer with my uniform on, and they all thought it was me, and he'd escape out the side door.
Wow. Hopefully he paid you for that, but not that cheap guy. I don't know if he ever did. So this starts to build your name and reputation in kart. I'm just hearing about you coming up. You were known for doing these amazingly fast pit stops and really just trying to apply innovation and quality to whatever you did. Tell me about this bond, brotherhood, sisterhood on the crew, because we're going to get to what you do today, but I know back then the roots of building that strong team is really important to you.
It is. You know, when we get hired on, we are given an opportunity, and I was always taught that you have to make the best of every opportunity given to you. And when my friend Bill Martin gave me an opportunity to go there, I wanted to show him that I was worthy of it, and I wanted to show Vince Granatelli I was worthy of it.
Wow.
And you have to get to know everybody that works on the car and their personalities and what their strong points are, and you can judge them by how they come in every day and go to work and get things done. And it's what I love to do. I love to teach the younger guys what they need to do to get everything done right. So without being a strong unit together, where you can work together every day, because we're together more than we are with our family, right? So Everybody just has to realize that this is what we have. This is our goal. No matter what the obstacles are, we have to do what we're asked to do, and that's what my guys have done.
Wow.
You know?
Tell me about Chip Ganassi Racing, because like Barry Wanzer, like so many others, we aren't talking, been there a couple of years, decades, Rick,
Yeah.
but tell me about getting there and what you found to say, I actually kind of want to make this my permanent home.
Well, it's funny you say that. When Mike called me up after I was laid off at Walker's because sponsorship went away, the next morning I get a phone call, and I was headed to Arizona for vacation, which was already planned. So I told him when I come back, I did the interview with him, and I told him I haven't decided what I want to do because I'm going to go home and think about it. And he blocked the doorway and said, I'm not letting you out of here until you tell me you're coming to work for us.
Wow.
So I told him, if I'm coming back, I'm coming to work for you. And this is the last place I want to work. And it's worked ever since.
You know, you have a unique approach to taking care of a race car. There are a lot of crew chiefs who think of themselves as one of many employees, which is, again, it's true, but think of themselves as just one of a group. Not saying you don't believe yourself to be that, but you take a particular ownership of your car. It's yours. It might have Chip Ganassi Racing on it, but in your mind, you treat this like you own it, and like everything about it is your most prized possession.
Absolutely. You know, that's the way you have to attack it, right? It's mine. Right? I look back at when I was driving and how I took care of my stuff. Is I do the same way here. That he's bought me this expensive race car and told me to go win races with it, and that's
Thanks,
what we
Chip.
try to do. Yeah, appreciate that. But again, I stress that to the guys as well, because what they do on the car and how well we do and how reliable our car is, that speaks louder than any words they could ever tell somebody else.
And that mindset is a really sharp one, Rick, because again, it doesn't say this is semi-permanent, it'll go away. It's you own this, treat it as such.
Yes, and that's what you have to do. Is anything, no matter what your job is in life, and I was told this by a guy, it doesn't matter what you do the best, be the best at it. And that's what I've always wanted to do. Like, I still don't think I am. I still have a lot to learn and a lot to grow, and I'm going to continue to do that as long as they'll let me do that.
Ask Barry Wanzer about this in our walk. Tell me about chemistry and protecting it, because you can throw a bunch of great mechanics, great folks together in any discipline. That doesn't make a team. A bunch of folks standing around doesn't make a team.
Right.
What's the secret there, Rick? How do you build this beautiful tribe that is so strong?
Again, I go off of their strengths, right? I ask them to do the things that they do well, and then I help them to do the things that they haven't done and get better at it, and that their pride in themselves is going to reflect on what they do. And that, I don't know, it's hard to put into words, but I can just see them getting closer and closer together.
Because you have veterans on your number 10 Honda team, driven by Alex Palou. You have some young men, young women as well, who are early into their careers. The output that we see with no finishes worse than 8th this year, which is remarkable.
Knock on wood. Right, we got one more to go.
We got one more. Come on, Palou, keep it going. But it's remarkable, but you would think it's all salty veterans, but indeed, you keep introducing new players and yet maintain this high level. That's just another thing that speaks to the culture you've helped to build.
And it's right, having other guys come back to the team that are veterans does help the younger guys, because they've seen it, they've done it, that we know how to get around that obstacle. And again, that personality helps bring everybody together too, right? Because you can have somebody ruin a team, and you can have somebody raise the team a notch. And that's what we've tried to do since I've been here, is always, that was last year, this year we're here, next year we got to be here.
Let's close on this amazing 2023 season, just crowned champions. Whether it's the work on pit lane with pit stops to the mechanical reliability, this has been a hallmark year in your great career and many of those that you work with. What comes to mind, Rick, we're a couple days away from the season being over, but what y'all have achieved so far, just miracle after miracle.
It is, and I'm sure you've heard the old saying, I'd rather be lucky than good any day. But the thing that I've stressed for the guys is, to be lucky, you have to be prepared, right? To take full advantage of a situation that could arise itself. Just like Iowa, right? The second race. We're 8th. We're almost a lap down. Then it goes yellow, and we're 8th, and he drives the thing to 3rd. We shouldn't, right? Honestly, if the race doesn't go yellow, we don't finish 3rd. But because of what my crew does and how they do it, it gave Alex the opportunity to get to 3rd. So that's the way it's worked out for us. We've been on top of our game as far as preparation, and things have gone our way. We got a great driver too. We got a great engineer.
He's not bad. You have an amazing thing here, and the fun thing is it's being preserved for many years to come. So Rick, we're not letting you go unless Roger Penske, if you're going to a 4th car, there's a guy here who's pretty darn good you might consider. Chip, why haven't you put this guy in a car too? Come on, man, there's no excuses.
Give me one shot anyway.